Got it. Yeah.
Mhm.
Hmm.
I'm so mad. I went to get food
Yeah.
in town. There's only one place open right now, and there's only one place in town. And I ordered my food. I sat there for half an hour, and the lady goes, "Honey, what did you have?" And I was like, "Bacon cheeseburger, double bacon cheeseburger, plain and dry, fucking spuds and cheese sticks." And she's like, "Huh? Well, for some reason, it didn't get made." What? Okay.
Mm.
So they didn't make my food.
For some reason, I gave it to somebody else.
Right. Hey, how's it going?
Hello,
What's
sir.
happening?
Hey.
What's going on?
Oh,
Doing all
out
right. And
here
yourself?
living the dream, freezing.
Another day in paradise.
Oh, yeah.
You literally say that though out there in Hawaii. I'm over here freezing in Arkansas.
I,
Oh, yeah. That is true.
I get that a lot.
Yeah, for sure. Well, I'm Kevin. This is Tyree. Um, he's the one with the
Awesome.
49, the
Great to
losers
meet you
hat.
guys.
Likewise. Um, so I mean, just a little bit of a real quick, oh my gosh, guidelines. And I don't expect any of this from you. But we've kind of been bitten in the back before. But biggest thing is the no derogatory like language. We had to explain that to one of our former lieutenants after the fact that we recorded with. It was yeah, it was ended up being, and we were able to edit it in post, whatever. But we were like, hey, so maybe don't sound so sexist when you say certain things about women.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah,
funny.
yeah.
You know what? I sometimes I get excited and I might swear, but I'll
Oh
do
no,
my
no,
best to catch it.
no, we're fine with
But
that.
yeah,
Yeah,
I won't say anything derogatory.
yeah.
You know,
No, no,
I'm pretty. I try to. You know, I'm not exactly politically correct, but I do my best to you know,
absolutely.
I do my best.
No, no, absolutely. No. So we're both former infantry guys. So Army infantry. So we're fine
That
with
means you've
language.
never sworn.
Never.
Not
Not
once.
ever. Nope.
Not
You've
once.
never even heard it. Never even heard bad language.
Not
Not at
even.
all. Nope, not from my drill
Never.
sergeant.
Not even not once.
But so basically the way it works though is we'll just open the show however we do, and then we'll just kind of go from there. Typically we try and stick to like a conversational um
Sure.
format. So we try and stay away from like strict interview formats, whatever. But we do have some stuff. I've got some notes and stuff on your brand, and so that way we can talk about that and what you're about, and really kind of get the word out there. Because I feel like the show is like twofold, honestly. Because one of our big things is mental health, and trying to reduce that number, like you say on your website, 22
Yep.
to 0. And so you're doing that in two different ways. Like one, like you're literally trying to help with like the physical and mental aspects of it, and with CBD products and all that stuff. So really excited to talk to you about all this stuff. It's like definitely like great.
Yeah, and you know, I got some other things to say about that as well. Um, what's the name of your show again? Just so that I can.
It's called Before I Forget.
Yes.
All right. So what I would like to do at the end is offer a discount code to any of your listeners.
Okay. Yeah, absolutely.
And if you guys make it'll be 20% off. But you tell me what you want the code to be. Like I can customize it to be whatever.
Okay. Probably Terry. What do you think? BIF 126.
Yeah. BF 126. That works fine. That's what we use for everything anyway.
BIF 12. What is that? What is that?
First Infantry 26th Infantry Regiment. We were the Blue Spaders.
Even though I've been in the military, I did 26 years, and most of my time, even though I'm in the Navy, I spent most of my time working with the Army.
Yeah.
SOCOM is really an Army unit. Purple is really green. And I still don't speak like that whole like the Army Navy convention. I suck at it. I'm terrible. So I always have to ask.
Yeah, no, we were the 26th Infantry Regiment. 126, the Blue Spaders.
Back when it was in Schweinfurt, Germany. Now it's in, I have no idea.
Fort Campbell under 101st.
Yeah, there you go.
Well, cool. Whenever you're ready, though, Tyree will do his magic, and then we'll. Do you want me to introduce Tyree or you?
I'll open when I give it to you. You can introduce.
Okay. And real quick, I should want to make sure I'm Branum, right? William Branum.
Perfect. Yep.
Okay.
That's it.
I don't want to butcher somebody's name. It's easy enough, but
yeah, it's all good. It wouldn't be the first time. The very first podcast I ever did, the guy who he's always said my name wrong, and I didn't realize that that's how he thought my name was. And then he launched the podcast, and I looked at it and I was like, bro, you know that you misspelled my name. He's like, really?
Was it? Did it come out to Barnum? Did it come out to Barnum?
Yeah, it was something like that. Yeah.
I had to tell my iPad and iPhone to fix that.
Exactly. If you don't slow down, it'll look really hard. Hey, all right. Before we get started, I'm not even gonna lie to you. I had a joint, like half a joint before I started. I was having a really great day. Like professionally. We'll get into it in the show. I'll explain it. All right, ready to go?
Yeah, whenever you're, man.
All right, I'm gonna stop.
I was born ready.
I'm gonna stop screaming into the microphone.
For real.
Get everything situated. Wait, let's test the music. Hopefully it's not too loud. Okay.
Oh my God, my ears.
Is it loud? Can you even hear it?
No.
Okay, great.
No.
All right. So here we go. No, it's a good thing that you can't hear it because in the editing, I'm gonna go and add things and take things away, and it's gonna be great. You'll love it. All right, here we go in 3, 2, 1. Okay. All right. Oh yeah, crap I had to do to end that. That was good.
No, that was really fun. I'm not even kidding. Like I was kind of sold on your stuff, reading through your bio. Like I like to do research, right, on the folks that we interview, and so like
you did quite a bit of research.
I did what I could. I didn't want to like overdo it because I also didn't want to like try and delve into like, I mean, I know like the where you served and blah blah blah, but I don't know whatever. Anyway, I wanted to know more about the brand and the product, and I was so like as I'm reading about it, I'm like, no, this shit is like I mean, like again, on that matchmaker thing, you're talking about stripping the ego and authenticity and sticking to yourself, and it's like a Navy SEAL talking about stripping the ego. Like I got to hear where he's coming from on this. And then
what is it? What's wrong with this guy?
Yeah, like that's not very SEAL like at all. Like I used to work at Fort Hunter Liggett in California, and the West Coast teams will go out there and train a lot. And so I got to talk to a handful of them here and there, and super nice dudes, but also like you can tell there is this cockiness to them. And
of course, yes, of course, yeah.
One of my favorite stories, right? Well, so you served on East Coast. Have you ever been to Fort Chaffee?
Yeah,
here in Arkansas. So that's where I work.
Yeah, we would do a land warfare out there.
Yeah. So that's where I work. I work on Fort Chaffee. But it's like an hour south of me. But anyway, I was talking to a guy, and I wear the Garmin Phoenix watch, right? And the guy's like, I'm filling out some paperwork for him. He's one of the West Coast guys, and he's like, hey, man, that's a nice watch. I'm like, thanks, man. It's the Garmin Phoenix. He's like, oh yeah, I know. Pops his sleeve and he's like, I got the same one, but it's the Delta Tactics, whatever the shit. And I'm like, oh, okay, cool, man. How much did that run? He's like, I don't know, man. The Navy gave it to me. I'm like, oh, come on, dude.
All you gotta do is join the Navy.
Yeah. I mean,
all you gotta do, you just go through buds and all that other stuff. Yeah.
Easy. Get a $900 watch right there.
Super easy. Yeah.
But no, hey.
Yeah, they started giving those big watches out like right as I was retiring, and I was like, hey, can I get one? They're like, no. I'm like, come on.
They got them at the DX, $900. Use your star card.
Yeah. Here you go.
Yeah, right. No, but I'll tell you, like, honestly, God, like, I remember watching that movie Navy SEAL when I was a kid, and I was like, that's fucking badass, man. And so I joined the Army instead. It is what it is.
Right. I watched it when I was in the fleet. Well, I was on a ship in the middle, and I didn't even like go over that story. So the way that I got to Buds was my detail. So I don't know what you guys have in the Army, but in the Navy we have a detailer, and he's the guy that tells you where you're going to go next.
Oh yeah, your branch.
And so I went to gunner's mate school because I thought it had something to do with guns. It has nothing to do with guns. I mean, it does sort of, like those big things on those big gray things out there in the ocean.
Yeah.
And really it's all about pneumatics, hydraulics, and electronics. And then I did well enough in that school. I took a 4-month school for one of these missile launchers to launch Tomahawk missiles. And my thought was like, okay, I'll go to this other school for 4 more months and get in better shape, and then I'll go to BUD/S. That's my internal dialogue thinking. And so I'm about 2 months in, and I'm like, hey, I want to take this SEAL screening test. I want to go to BUD/S. They're like, okay. And they looked into it and they're like, no, you're not going. I'm like, well, why not? Well, because you took this school, you have to go to this ship in Yokosuka, Japan for 2 years. I was like, well, what if I fail out of the school? They're like, you're still going to that ship in Yokosuka, Japan for 2 years. That's the way the Navy works. And so I went and I did my time. And then at the 9-month mark, I called my detailer. I'm like, hey, man, I'm just letting you know I'm going to put a package in to go to BUD/S and blah, blah, whatever. He's like, yeah, you're not going to BUD/S. You're never going to become a SEAL. Because you took that school, you're too critical to the Navy because it was a new missile launcher system. I will not let you go to BUD/S. And I'm like, okay, well, what if I get out? They're like, well, then get out. I'm like, well, what if I go and I don't make it? Then you got me back. He's like, nope, no deal. And so I do all the stuff, pass the test. I do all the physical stuff, all the medical stuff. And I'm about 6 weeks out from, like, my orders are up on the ship, and I'm like, who knows what I'm going to do yet. And the CNO, we get word that the CNO is coming to the ship, Chief of Naval Operations. He was a common sense leader. And what people told me, they were like, if you have a question, you should ask the CNO. He started as an enlisted guy, became the CNO. And so he comes to the ship. He didn't go to any other ship in Yokosuka, Japan. He only came to our ship. And he's like, here's my vision of the Navy, blah, blah, blah. I have no idea what he said or talked about, nor did I care. And when he finished, he was like, does anyone have any questions? I got one. Yes, sir. I said, I joined the Navy to become a Navy SEAL. I think I deserve a chance to go. My detailer won't let me go. What do you think? He turns to my commanding officer. He's like, is he a good guy? And he was like, yeah, he was a sailor of the quarter this quarter. It's like, check, you'll be in the first class after your PRD. 6 weeks later, I'm off to California.
Nice. That's literally,
so that's how I got to go.
That's amazing.
Right.
That's yeah. And that's the squeaky wheel. You know what I mean? We I remember young soldier and somebody important coming to see us, and they're like, listen, ask questions, but don't ask dumb fucking questions. Okay. And then you always have that one guy raises their hand. Can we get better chow with the DFAC? Come on, man. No, but that's
how about shut up.
Yeah. How about eat what you get. Be glad you're fed. Or it's MREs for the rest of the deployment. No, that is a cool ass story. So I will say, like Tyree's probably still recording the audio, and the video is still going. So we can still throw this in there so that people, if you want that story to be a part of it too, or we can just cut it off and save it for later.
Yeah, you can totally throw it in there.
I'm sorry, AAR. We have a sideshow.
Oh yeah.
You to record after our shows are over, because there's always a really good conversation after, like, how did that show go? Yeah. We didn't like this, we didn't like that, or oh man, that was really great, or we need to connect with this person a little bit more.
Mm-hmm.
And those are always entertaining to me. And Kevin actually came up with the idea, so I'm sure that this is gonna all be on a show just a day or two after our normal show. So I'm glad you guys are still smashing this stuff out. It sounds really good. That's why I'm just sitting here listening.
just keep it up.
Yeah.
Well, usually whenever we close out, like our guests, and we probably, Tyree, mental note, we probably need to like mention this before we start recording, but like usually our guests like check out right as soon as we close out. They just leave, and we're like, oh man, we kind of wanted to like have a mini AAR. You know what I mean? Like, hey, let's.
I've done a few of these, so yeah, I'm good.
Yeah.
All I got to do laundry and stuff before I get on an airplane tonight. But yeah.
Okay. That's so cool though, man. And
here's something for you guys. I'm going to California for a couple of days of coaching with one of my coaches, and then I'm flying to New Jersey, and it's an organization called it's by you only get, you can only go if someone recommends for you to go. It's called Heroic Public Speaking. They're in somewhere in New Jersey. For veterans, it's free.
Really?
You have to put $1,000 down, and then they give it back to you after you show up. And I had a friend that went, like someone recommended for her to go. She reached out to me and she's like, you need to go to this. And so I reached out to him and I'm like, all right, yeah, cool. Let's do it. And so it's 2 days of like learning the craft of speaking, from stage, TED Talk, podcast, whatever. So the stage craft of it. So I'm actually heading out there. So that might be something you guys may or may not want to look into if you have an opportunity.
Yeah, that'd be cool. I'm gonna Google it. Never been to New Jersey. I'm not sure.
It's like in the boonies of New Jersey, I think. Like I was like looking at for hotels, and there are no hotels in the city. There's a lot of like Airbnbs in this little town, and the nearest Marriott is like 13 miles away. So I'm going to be driving 13 miles
to
the Marriott, and it's cheaper to stay at the Marriott than the Airbnbs. I mean, they're cool and whatever, but I'm I'm a Delta Million Miler and I'm a Marriott whatever something dude. So that's how I'm rolling.
Right. Yeah, I don't need a home away from home if I'm going to be there for 2 days.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, we just for this New Year's, a group of us met up in Nashville. That's actually, we didn't really, I don't know if you know the story of our show, but like our show started out like we deployed in 04, got back in 05. A lot of us left active duty. He and I went into the reserves. He became a cop and later left the reserves, and I'm still in it. And we would always talk, man. And it's like we're kind of either forgetting details of our deployment or our time on active duty, or misremembering. And so for years we had talked about like writing stuff down, writing a book, blah blah blah. And Tyree came up, he called me one day, he's like, dude, let's do a fucking podcast. I'm like, dude, that's stupid, no. And here we are a year and a half later, almost to 100 shows. And
that's awesome.
The first season though was 26 episodes for our regiment, 26th Infantry Regiment, and where we interviewed everybody, a lot of people from our unit. One of them was the current Force Comm Sergeant Major in the Army. He was our first sergeant, and so we got him on the show, and we were like, "Oh my god, this is a big deal!" Blah blah blah, and like it's becoming good. Like our numbers blew up, and the idea behind it was, one, we wanted to like detail our stories, right? Because we're nobodies in the grand scheme, right? We're just small cogs in the wheel in Iraq or Afghanistan or wherever we happen to be. Nobody wants to really hear our story, or so we thought, right? I mean, there's not a ton of movies made about mechanized infantry guys. You know what I mean?
Right.
You guys get all the cool stuff, but you do all the cool stuff and you train hard for it, so it makes sense. I get it. But like we were like, man, like nobody's gonna want to hear these stories. But turns out like people want to hear. I like how you put it. What is it? Common dudes doing uncommon things. And we were, mech infantry, but like we're in Iraq and we're fighting the start of the war, and we're just regular dudes in the shit.
Yeah.
Without the super specialized training, but still like we're involved in stuff and a part of history, and it just made sense for us to kind of chronicle that. And it kind of went on. We're getting hit up by other veterans being like, man, we didn't even know we could talk about this stuff. We didn't know that we could publicly speak about what happened to us, our feelings, our emotions, PTSD. We didn't know that was okay. And so it's helped other people reconnect, and it's helped our group reconnect. So we've actually had
very cool
2 small reunions in Nashville, and then another one. We had one last June in Florida. We're having another one this June in Colorado. So, and it's been 17 years since we've seen a lot of these dudes. So it's been great,
That's
man.
Awesome.
Like, yeah, no, this has been. And so now
I'm
oh, go ahead.
So I was just going to say, I'm actually speaking in Nashville at the end of this month, at the end of February. But
do you know when and where? I might.
I don't know exactly. I don't know exactly where. It's at some companies hiring me to come in, like real estate companies coming in to hire. It's going to be on. I'm speaking on what day? Dun, 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 dun.
I mean, is that something that's open
And
to public or just those people?
You could be my guest. I think I don't know if I'm speaking on the 27th or the 28th. I think I'm speaking on the 28th and flying back on the 1st.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm speaking on the 28th and fly back on the 1st. Yeah, so and the other thing I wanted to say is where were you in Iraq in 04, 05?
Samara?
05, really specifically 05. Okay.
Yeah.
Because I was there in April. I got April to September in Baghdad. We were tasked. So we started, kicking doors and doing, the fun stuff, what we're trained to do.
Mm-hmm.
And then we got retasked to be the interim security force for the security force for the interim Iraqi government. So we went from like kicking doors to being bodyguards.
Gross.
What a terrible existence that was. But so like it, in every opportunity I got, and this is sort of a leadership thing, every opportunity I got, I would send, the guys that were performing the best in that role, I would send them off to work with the platoons that were kicking doors. I'm like, go get some experience, my friend. But I think like the cool, like historical thing that I got to do is I was in the room when they were writing their constitution. It was me and one other like American, another SEAL, and the Terp.
That is pretty cool.
But yeah,
that was really cool actually.
But that was like kind of the sexiest thing that came out of that deployment.
We found out in doing the show, actually, we found out from one of our former squad leaders who's now a command sergeant major. We found out that we ran escort for some SEALs in Samara in 04. We never knew it though, right? Because need to know, right? We just knew that we were going on a mission, we're doing this, we're doing that, and we were, basically providing security for these dudes. No idea who it was. We have our guesses, but they're as good as anybody else's, I'd imagine. But yeah, really, I mean, it was kind of neat to be like, yeah, man, so I'm basically a SEAL.
Basically, yes.
Yep.
Yeah. And I did a bunch of and I have to say that my job was safer than your job, quite honestly, especially like later on 2006, 7, 8, 9, like because we get to pick when we want to go and where we want to go and what we want to do. You guys were just like, we put a target package together. We're going to go when we want to go. We want to always stack the odds in our favor. And I was just like, I'm like, dude, those poor fucking Army guys standing out there in the blazing ass heat, just waiting to be shot by somebody.
Yeah.
I'm like, fuck that job, dude. No way. So thank you for what you did.
No, man. Thank you for what you do and did and everything. That is
helping out these veterans with or anybody for that matter who can use the CBD for those body aches, man. Because personally, I use regular marijuana. I'm not extremely familiar with.
There's CBD in there also. Okay. I mean, honestly, the cannabis plant, it's like the difference between hemp and marijuana. Yeah. Hemp has 0.3% or less THC in the dried weight of the plant.
Okay.
Huh. If you see the two plants sitting next to one another, if you don't know what they look the same. They look exactly the same.
I've seen
someone who's educated would know that kind of some of the difference, like different strains or what have you. But at the end of the day, like it all looks pretty much looks the same. It smells the same, whatever. But the thing that makes it hemp versus marijuana is, the very, very low level 0.3% or less THC in the dried weight of the plant versus a marijuana plant, which is anything above that.
Yeah.
That's what makes hemp. So all of like whatever, like the buzzing gummies, they're hemp derived. CBD, hemp derived THC. You're in, and so the broad spectrum products that we carry, we actually it has, you know, that small amount of THC in it, and we just extract that THC out because some people are just like still have an issue with it, drug testing or whatever. But yeah, I'm leaning much more towards adding the THC in at this point, especially like the results I've gotten from the buzzing gummies. I'm like, dude, it's on. Yeah. It has certainly impacted positively my relationship with alcohol.
I was gonna say, since I've started smoking or having any kind of THC in my system at all, like the thought of even getting drunk is so terrible to me. Like it makes me physically feel ill.
It's funny how that works. Yeah, I'm like and you know what? It was used as medicine for more than 2,000 years.
Yeah, I think we need to go back to it. God, I hope.
And then I think
I think
that it's a high. You know, I'm very sad that, you know, not to talk politics much here, but I'm very sad that the Democrats didn't like make that happen when they had all three chambers of.
Yeah.
Dude,
I thought it was going to happen. They didn't even freaking talk about it. Really, it was just
they're like too busy trying to like whatever to talk shit about investigating Trump for whatever the fuck it is today.
Right, 100%. Yeah, exactly.
Or whatever. Like you're wasting your time. You're wasting taxpayer dollars.
Yeah.
Anyway, I digress.
Roll into some crazy shit again, but I got to get off here, man.
Yeah, we got some editing to do. Again, William,
right on.
Really appreciate you coming on, man. Like, show went way better than I expected, and like I'm definitely intrigued, and we'll be looking up. Actually, I was gonna tell you, when I did try and check out, it wouldn't let me ship it to my address, but I'll try something else.
I've had some. So there's two different sites. There's the apparel site, and then there's the CBD site.
Yeah.
And I have had some people run into issues on the apparel side. I don't know what the deal is. I have no idea.
Yeah.
I haven't had any issues on the CBD side though. There is some apparel over there though.
Yeah. The Get Naked 22.
Yeah. And the red t-shirt.
I can't wear red. I'm too white.
I thought you were saying.
No, like look at this. I have a little bit of red on my shirt, and like it makes my face look red. Like I don't know. I don't know. It brings out the red in myself. But no, that I was gonna get that Get Naked 22 also. But and people are like, dude, it's 2023. I'm like, get naked now too. Fuck, man. Who cares what year it is?
I mean, yeah. What it stands for is really the 22.
Exactly. Yeah. And I did want to say, like in the beginning when you mentioned the 22 or the 44, a lot of people don't know that there's a newer study that's come out where that number is much higher than the VA numbers. It's skewed, is what it is, and fuck, man, it's way too much. So I really appreciate the work you're doing in that regard, and
thank you.
And we're gonna do our part in the same fight, and we're gonna promote your shit. And so, but yeah,
thank you. I appreciate that very much. Thank you.
You said with the discount code, how does that work?
So it's I actually put it in while we were talking just right now. So it's BIF 126, correct?
Yep.
Yes.
So I actually changed it from 20% to 25% off. So when you go to checkout, if you type that code in, there's a box at the end. You type that code in, it will automatically deduct 25%.
Nice.
Thank you.
That is awesome. Yeah.
Thank you. Yeah, for sure.
We're gonna plug the shit out of this. My personal Instagram, I have like 5,000 followers. The Facebook has about 1,200. So yeah, I'm going to tell everybody I know, because like.
Thank you very much. I appreciate that.
No, if I was on the edge of being convinced, like speaking with you, man, like I am. So yeah, definitely.
And I'll spread the word with the veterans I'm working with at work now, because I'm sure they can use it, especially the stunt dudes.
Yeah, stunt dudes for sure.
Oh yeah. All right, y'all.
I thought about doing that when I grew up, but I'm trying to do other things now. I can still do that.
I know a guy. They can get you in the biz.
Get you right in there. You'll be jumping off the
Right
side of
on.
buildings before you know it.
I like it. All right. Awesome. Have a good evening. Have an awesome week.
Hey,
Talk
you
to you
too.
guys soon.
Safe travels.
So
All right. See ya.
Good. Yeah.
Is it just me and you?
Yeah. It's just me and you.
Dude, that was a fucking great show.
I'm not recording. I stopped.
I still am.
Okay, good. Yeah, that was good.
No, that went way better than I thought it was gonna go. Like I mean, what do you think?
Oh yeah, for us not knowing that person at all, it went well.
I mean, not knowing that person at all, but like, one, dude, we brought on a top tier Navy SEAL operator to talk about his business and what he's doing in the SEAL community, or not the SEAL community, but like in his personal life after the military. So like he hit all the markers, man. Mm-hmm. Right. So he served all these years in the military. He saw some shit. He did some things. Right. He transitions from the military. So he even mentions like how that transition can be daunting, something we talked about in the show before. And you know, like his way, I don't know, man. Like I think it went really, really, really well. I'm glad he agreed to be on the show.
I think the way he presented himself,
Mhm.
the TikToks, he spoke well, makes me really reevaluate the people I've had before, and makes me realize that we really need to go after people like him, people who, like you said, are veterans.
Mhm.
There's somebody in the community, they're doing something positive, and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah, no, right. And you remember in the beginning we were like, listen, let's talk to regular dudes who did regular things.
Yes.
You're on the phone, loser.
It's I gotta get off. Bye, Kevin.
All right.
All right. It's in the cabinet. I'll be there in a sec.